I'm an old military man. I got wounded in Vietnam, and I tell you what, I didn't want to go forever to a hospital. I wanted to get to the next place that could help me and sustain me. And that's what we hope this will do for us. And we have to say to the counties of Barnwell and Bamberg, simply you got to support what we put here. If you don't, it's not going to stay here. And if you do that while you grumbling that we have not had what we have put here, and you go someplace else. RMC has done us a great thing when others turn their backs on us. Thank you so much, RMC, and we really love you. May God bless you people.
I look around and I know that when I say the name Walter Cronkite, most of you are old enough to remember Walter Cronkite, and he one time said, the American healthcare system is neither healthy, caring, or much of a system. But we're going to change that today in our part of the world. This is a small step that we're going to say that we're going to have a caring healthcare system for the citizens of Bamberg and Barnwell County. I know that all of you believe that we live in the greatest nation in the world. And people who live in the greatest nation in the world deserve access to high-quality medical care. And that's what this facility is going to bring to us. Lonnie alluded to it earlier, but we looked across this state, talked to medical facilities, anyone who would talk to us, and said, who will come and stand up and help us put a facility in Bamberg and Barnwell counties? And one answered the call, and it was the Regional Medical Center. And we appreciate the citizens of Calhoun and the citizens of Orangeburg who have agreed to invest in these two counties so that we as a region can have quality health care. Not just quality health care, but high quality health care.
It was about 3 years ago I met with Tom Danvers and Brenda Williams to talk about that there may be some opportunities to strengthen health care in our region. Because at that point we've seen 3 hospitals closing in our region, and we were headed for what I used to call a healthcare desert. And I was able to draft some legislation along with the legislative leaders to put together a potential plan. And part of that plan was to resolve some help for these 2 counties. So as a result of that, we are here today to move it forward. Healthcare is just like economic development. A regional approach is the only way to go. Standalone is just not possible much anymore. You got to connect with somebody, and that's why we're connected with Medical University. Now we're connected with Bamberg and Barnwell, and so it's growing bigger. But as it grows bigger, it grows better.
I've really been looking forward to this for the past several days because I returned last night from visiting with our American troops who are protecting us. Freedom is not free. In Romania, Bulgaria, Latvia, Lithuania, the Republic of Georgia. And yesterday morning I had breakfast with troops in Wrocław, Poland, and what a difference. This morning I had breakfast in Swansea, South Carolina. But hey, it was so much fun. As I was going around, I would sort of play with foreign military leaders and government officials and troops, and I said, hey, I can't wait to get home because I'm going straight to Denmark. And I'm going to be there in Denmark and see long-time extraordinary friends. And I knew it was really fun, Barnwell and Bamberg, but gosh, y'all made it so good. Calhoun and Orangeburg, so this is better. But I was explaining I couldn't wait to get home to go to Denmark. And they looked funny, and finally I had to explain to them that Denmark, you know, it's near Norway, Sweden, near Finland, okay, and South Carolina. But it was a reminder to persons in Europe of our shared heritage. So it couldn't have come at a better time. And so I'm so grateful to be here. And what we have here is a symbol of counties working together. But it's real on the county line of Bamberg and Barnwell. How incredible! And then the symbol of being in a rural community adjacent to a cornfield and a field. Thank you. And so it's real. It's a national symbol. I can't wait. The facility itself will be a national institution, indicating the extraordinary people who live here, and for Congressman Clyburn and myself, the dean of our delegation, I'm so grateful. You are humbling us, inspiring us. God bless you. Thank you very much.
But if you were to start reading Matthew 25 from verse 1, you will get the parable of the 10 virgins. Now the whole thrust of that parable is summed up in that refrain that we've heard sung often: keep your lamps trimmed and burning, so as to be ready when the bridegroom comes. Well, if you apply that to life, it simply means stay prepared. Be prepared for when the occasion comes. Now, that is what happened here. Being prepared. Before the Turners were so benevolent in presenting this property, and before the council ever sat down to do the planning along with the Orangeburg Regional Hospital, way back in 2008, at the first meeting, bicameral, bipartisan meeting of the House and Senate, both parties, along with the President-elect at that time, were trying to figure out what we could do to recover from the economic situation that we find ourselves in. And we were coming up with all kinds of plans. And I sat there very quiet, because I used to teach history, and I know a little bit about what happens with recoveries. These recoveries, if you're aren't careful, all the resources go to those who are sophisticated, know how to write these high-sounding grants, and got all the sophistication, and have all of the alumni people sitting on the grant boards. And so my job, I thought, was to make sure that we put in that law something that would guarantee that some of this recovery money get into communities of needs. Now, you've heard 10, 20, 30 mentioned here today. Let me tell you what that is. The Census Bureau, not Jim Clyburn, the Census Bureau defines persistent poverty communities this way. Any community where 20% or more of the population's been stuck beneath the poverty level for the last 30 years is classified by the Census Bureau as a persistent poverty community. So when I looked at that, I said to those gathered around the table, I said, now, what we've got to do is to make sure that we put into this law a guarantee that at least 10% of all the money being appropriated in this section of the law gets into those persistent poverty counties. That's where 10, 20, 30 comes from. 10% of the money must go into those communities where 20% or more of the population's been stuck beneath the poverty level for the last 30 years. And that was put into the rural development section of the Recovery Act. Now it turns out, some 7 or 8 years later, they had spent all of that money, but there was about $10 million still sitting there. And that's where this office, Michelle Caldwell and her staff, that's when they went to work. They put together these grants. And there were some loans as well. When I looked at the thing last night, I noticed that no loans went to y'all. All y'all got just grants. That's smart. But what happened? They didn't know that this much money was left over. They just did the grants. They were prepared. They trimmed their lamps, and they kept their lamps burning, waiting for an opportunity. And lo and behold, the opportunity presented itself. And 3.1 million of that extra 10 million came to little old South Carolina.